All right, Sean. So can you hear me, Sean?
Yep, definitely can
Good.
hear you.
Right. So we've got three people on YouTube. We're not sure who they are.
Yep.
So let's assume we've got two people now.
hmm
Uh, so let's start the session. Raise our Kundalini and put ourselves in a bandha.
Yep.
We thank Srimataji for giving us the opportunity to meet. And we thank Srimataji for giving us the opportunity to meet together, to meet with our brothers and sisters. Every project, every activity, every event like this is an opportunity for us to be together, to enjoy each other's company and enjoy each other's vibrations. And we thank Srimataji for giving us these wonderful tools to be able to share her message with all the people of the world. So I'll hand you over to Sean. Sean has been running webcast sessions for a year, Sean.
Yes.
And I think he's recently retired from that activity, had other commitments. So he's qualified. So we have, Sean's going to take us through what we do every week, our processes, how we share Sahaja Yoga with new people and people who've been attending for a while. And he has a lot of experience in presenting programs. And naturally, these days, you need to also know how to use technology to do that. So Zoom is the tool that we have chosen to do most of our broadcasts on. We also use YouTube and Facebook and radio. So today's sessions is all about Zoom. And the aim of it is really to try and encourage more people to participate in presenting programs. Um, so hopefully at the end of these sessions, whether it's today or over the next coming weeks, those people who've joined us for the first time, and you haven't done so already, you'll have the opportunity to learn how to present programs. And if you want to join the organisation, or if you like, the way we present, we have weekly programs that we advertise locally and internationally, and we'll show you how to join those sessions, advertise your programs, and so forth. But that's everything that Sean's going to take us through. So today's day one. So this first session is the introduction to Zoom, and then at 12 o'clock Sydney time, then Sean will be talking to people who'd like to learn how to host a Zoom session, how to present a public program. So maybe I'll just make it a bit clearer that this is not just restricting you to present Sahaja Yoga programs, but if you're using this in your work, to meet with your families, yep, it's the same processes. Okay, so thank you very much, Sean. I'll hand you over to Sean now. Thank
All
you.
right, let's do this. So, good morning, everybody from Sydney, Australia. Just a couple of housekeeping from a Zoom perspective. If you can just make sure that you are on mute when the presentation is on. I will, in case you don't know where the mute button is, it's just on the bottom left of the Zoom presentation window. If you're joining in on Zoom. And do say hello wherever you are, so we can know which part of town you're from. Could be either Sydney, Canberra, Penrith, or maybe outside of Australia. Would be really cool to know where you're part from and things like that. And also, if you have any questions, please do ask on the YouTube channel as well, or on the Zoom, and we will do our best to really help you. And if you want to keep your video on, it's up to you, but you don't need to. It's a personal choice because it's only just going to be me showing you the session, so it's perfectly fine. Cool.
There are a lot of handsome people on the session too. Sure.
Well, I'll let them make the decision, Uncle Charles. So it's up to them if they want to keep it on.
So we've got two people up there whose names we don't recognize. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've got Uncle Andrew, we've got Uncle Sean, we've got, I think, Auntie Kanak. Oh, I actually call her Kanak, but yes, it looks like she's got the Zoom. I didn't know the name until she started in the chat. And then I think we've got Deshaun Robinson. I'd like to say hello to all of you and also all of you on YouTube. So as Uncle Charles saying, today is a session on just basically on how to use Zoom. If you like more help, do type the questions on the chat and also on the Zoom chat and also on YouTube. And also, if you have any particular thing that you would like to discuss, we'll go through that. But like I said, today is just basically simple of how to use Zoom, how to download it, why are we using it, and what are the functionalities that go. And we can also show you what Australian Yoga has been doing in the past year or so in terms of what we're doing in terms of running programs like it's still normal essentially. And also what are the things that we have already put behind the scene. I'd like to give a big shout out to the team behind who are putting all of this together, making it easy for people who are wanting to probably ride this wave of presenting on Zoom, and also maybe not sure how to go about it, because it is the next way of basically doing programs essentially. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So first of all, obviously, if you're either on YouTube or Zoom, the first things first is actually learning to know what to do with Zoom. So what we need to do is to make sure, first of all, we go into the Zoom the Zoom sort of thing. So basically what we do is we just open up a Google Chrome or whatever web browser that you have. So I'm just going to share my desktop. I will show you how to do this, but don't worry if you don't know how to do it now. This is very, very basic training. So I'll just quickly share my screen. So now you are able to see my screen right now. So just going to close my windows. Yep. So as you can see, we are able to go to, say, let's go, I'm going to go www.zoom.com. Essentially, what you want to try and do is just first download the program. So going to Zoom, just going to there, just clicking solutions. There should be an opportunity to download. I think I can't. Oh yeah, that's right. So if you go to resources, download Zoom client. That's the first thing you want to try and do. So download Zoom client. Depending on what your operating system is, whether is it Mac or is it PC, you will just download as you see fit. Obviously, what has done is they've got, I think with this, what they've done is they actually know what your operating system is, then they'll tell you exactly what it is. So you don't have to go if it's Mac or PC. For those of you who have the new Macs that has the new Apple silicon chips, they have a different interface for that. So obviously just click here to download. It's no different. It's just a little bit more easier to work through with the amazingness that Mac has in terms of the new Apple silicon chips. So obviously you just click download. I'm not going to click download because I've already got one on mine. So that's perfectly fine as it is. So once you click download, you should be able to get this window over here. Probably I'm not able to show the window because I'm on Zoom right now. So if I were to maybe stop the share. So if I just show this right now. So I'll just try and screen share again. Okay, so as you can see now, once you download it, this is the Mac one. Windows probably has a different layout. So with Mac, obviously, you got your tabs on the top over here that are allowing you to basically access the Zoom. You got your meeting, view, edit, window, help. The help center is really, really great. You can type like, say for example, how do I become host? Sometimes you're able to get things up like that. It has a lot of things that are really good in reading, getting firmware, Apple topics, and things like that. It does link to your normal Zoom troubleshooting place. Or if you want, you can just go click to the help center. Reporting the problem, I have found from personal experience, really great. It has allowed me to, whenever I've reported a issue with Zoom, I've sometimes got a reply between 24 to 48 hours. That's probably a little bit different because I've got a paid Zoom account, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. They are quite helpful. So then you've got the window over here. The window option allows you to basically move things around if you need to. So if I were to click minimize, close, zoom, all of these are pretty self-explanatory. I would highly recommend to use shortcuts if you can, if you want to be less moving around.
Sean, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
So far you're showing us on a desktop.
Yep.
We know that probably half our audience or yogis use a mobile phone.
Okay.
Are we able to demonstrate the user interface on a mobile phone?
Mobile.
So again, the audience, this session is all about people who aren't familiar with Zoom. They probably don't even know what Zoom is.
Okay.
And maybe we should keep it at a very high level, just talking about loading the software and what it allows them to do. Yep. Maybe when they receive an invitation,
yep,
how do they join a session? They get a link in an email, and what happens then?
Right. Okay.
So we'll probably move away a little bit from functionality of Zoom.
Yep.
Until we get them understanding how they can connect. So
sure.
And the reason we've got the YouTube session going is for people who have not installed Zoom yet and they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, for sure. No worries. So what I would say then is looking at this, I'll just stop my share again so you can see. So if, for example, say we have received a Zoom link from somebody and we want to connect. So for example, I'm going to use the link that we have over here to join this session. So if I were to click this link right here, what will happen is automatically it will just come straight to... We can't
see the link.
Okay.
We can only see you at the moment.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'll just...
might need to share your whole desktop.
Yep. Okay, cool. No worries. Okay, cool. So I've got the YouTube channel, as you can see over there. So say, for example, if I'm clicking on this link over here, normally people, whenever they share a Zoom meeting, they would share a link. And this is very common to see this very long link, but you should have the zoom.us. Just click that link. As you can see with mine, it will just automatically, you will have to just basically open Zoom US. 9 out of 10 times it will automatically open for you. If you don't get it, then you just got to click the launch meeting. I'm not going to click launch meeting because I'm already in a meeting, so it'll probably be hard. If I launch it, it might just kick me out of this current session, but it will normally get you into the actual meeting session.
So usually I found that if you haven't installed Zoom yet, it'll ask, you can download it there. So right at the bottom there, under says launch meeting, it says,
yes.
Don't have Zoom, what's it say?
Zoom
client. Yeah. So that will appear. So when you click on the link, whether you received it via YouTube or an email, you'll see this screen. And I sent you that link this morning. Didn't I, by email?
Yep.
So maybe we can just show that how it looks also.
Yeah, sure. So if I were to install a Zoom session, if I need to install Zoom, so basically in the Mac setting, as you can see, I would just have to save it, and then I would just have to install Zoom. Once I follow the prompts are pretty. So let's just maybe do one quickly. Right? Oops, I clicked the wrong one. I apologize. Okay, so if I just click download, okay, let's just do it for now. So if I click that. It'll just come up with a very simple install thing. Just press continue, and then I've got something that tells me I need to install. So just follow the prompts. I'm not going to install it because I've already got the thing, so that's perfectly fine. But yeah, that's pretty much as self-explanatory as we can be in terms of using the Zoom session.
And the same thing will happen whether you're using a tablet or
Yes.
a mobile phone.
That's
So,
correct. That's correct.
and this is only a one-time thing that you need to do.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
need to
Yeah. So
click it,
once,
it'll install it.
yep.
And next time when you get a link to join a session, you'll go straight to this screen that Sean is showing
and it
us
will
now.
show you, it will immediately basically bring you into this meeting over here, as you can see on the far right of the screen. So that's essentially there. Cool, awesome. So let's just get straight into using the actual once what happens when you get there. You'll sometimes some people have what they call a lock on their meeting, so you'll be put into like a waiting room, so to speak. And the waiting room will look essentially like a big white screen, and it'll just say, please wait for the meeting host to let you in, and it will say the person's name, meeting room. So usually in the, I'll just try and show you quickly on my computer as well so you can see it. So I'll just screen share. 1 second. Whoops. Okay, cool. So if I were to just share my screen right now, as we can see, so you can see now, you can see me on your screen right now, as you can see. So this is how the Zoom interface looks like. If I were to, if someone was to enter you in, what will happen is you will get a notification saying that someone is trying to enter a meeting, and then you have the ability to admit them if you need to. So that's just that part over there. If anybody has any questions or if I'm going too fast, please let me know. I would like to make sure that everybody is on the same page with this.
So Sean, so we've installed the software.
Yep.
And we've clicked on the link.
Yep.
And we've now joined your session. So this is the first time I'm there.
Yep.
And one of the big things I learned was I was talking, but no one could hear me.
Yeah, sure.
And they couldn't see me. So one of the things I've heard is people, they're apprehensive to join Zoom sessions because they think they're going to be heard and seen, and they just want to observe, like a YouTube event.
Okay.
So can we talk a little bit about that people can just join a Zoom session and not speak and just listen and watch without showing themselves? And what do they need if they've got a desktop computer? Talk about a webcam and those sort of fundamental tools they need. So if they want to participate visually, what they
100%. So I know for a lot of people, speaking in front of a camera can be a little bit intimidating or not personal or a little bit weird at times. So maybe as what Uncle Charles was saying, you would like to participate in the session, but you probably just don't want to be heard or be seen. So as you can see right now, see somebody's entering the meeting, so that's how I would admit them. So just quickly do that. Okay, just quickly for everybody to know, as you can see on your bottom left and your bottom right over here, where my mouse is, this is where the audio and the video toggle for Zoom is being done. Most Zoom has set it up in such a way that it will automatically mute you when you come in. So when you join a meeting, you will automatically be on mute. You will just have to click this video button and just stop video. So for example, right now, I'm just going to stop my video. It's going to go in 3, 2, 1. Now you can't see me. And now you see me back again. So all I did was basically click this thing called the stop video. If you are using a webcam like I have over here, I've got a webcam over here, but if you have your input, your normal, if it's on your phone, if you have your normal input on that, it will just automatically cut. So I'll just try and quickly show you on my phone so you can see on Zoom as well. Zoom, oops. So just for people to know, if they ever join a meeting, you have the option of basically, like it says to you that, I don't know if you can see that, probably not too much.
Too bright.
Too bright. So there is an option that will allow you to say, with the join options, when you join a meeting, it'll tell you to say, don't connect to audio or turn off my video. So whenever you get a meeting ID or a link, you have the option to click whether you want to immediately connect your audio straight away or turn off your video. But Zoom has set this up, as I said, as a normal thing. If you want to set it up as an automatic thing, sometimes maybe you may have done, someone was using your Zoom account before and they've automatically turned on the video, but you don't want to do that straight away. You can sort of turn it off as an automatic, as default. So I'll just quickly go through the video settings, as you can see on my thing. Oops, you can't see it, so that's fine. Okay, cool. So if you come to over here, there is a way to actually sort of stop your video when coming in. So for example, so when you come over here, you see how there's a screen over here that says stop my video when joining a meeting. So what that means is if someone is joining a meeting, if you were to join a meeting, your video will not come on automatically. You will have to toggle it to come on. That's by default. You don't have to always manually do it. Once you click it in Zoom, you can just exit and then life's great. It'll just happen automatically. Same thing over here as well. So with the audio, there is a way for you to do it as well. Automatically join computer audio, mute my mic when joining a meeting. This is also available on your mobile device. When you go and join a meeting, you're able to actually set that as a default, and it will by definition, when you join a meeting, your video and your audio is mute, and you just have to manually unmute yourself.
Sean, I've got the Zoom session running on my mobile.
Yep.
How about if I try and do, I'll turn on my video.
Yep.
And just see if my one comes up.
Yeah, sure.
Screen comes up.
Okay. Yep.
I can't see there.
Okay, I'll just remove the pin because you've got the, yep. So go for it, Uncle.
I can't see myself there. That's it. Yeah. So is that back to front? It's turned
yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's all right. That's fine.
Okay. So you can see there, working backwards. Down here is the two key buttons. So you can see there, it's back to front, just the way it's being displayed. But this is a Zoom session. I just clicked on the link, and because we had Zoom already installed on this mobile phone, it just fired up straight away. And then in the bottom right hand, this corner down here, so I'm working backwards.
Yep. So yeah.
There's two key buttons. There's audio and video. So if you did want to join a session and you're talking, people say they can't hear you, it's a matter of just turning on the button which says audio. And if you want to join with the video, then you just turn on the video there. Then you're using the camera in your phone to join the session. Okay, and because I've got it turned like this, the video will look long ways. And if you want it to look landscape, then you turn your phone that way. Okay.
Yep.
Now, one of the other big things is while we're on the phone, if you want to leave the session, there's a big red button there at the top which says leave. So at any time you can just leave the session, so you don't have to stay there for the whole duration. Okay, thank you.
Yep, no worries. Cool. So just on that note again, so I'll just bring my screen again so everybody can see. So as you can see me over here, that info is very, very helpful, but also just on that note as well, you can automatically set that as default. So you just got to be careful whenever you go into Zoom to make sure that you are clicking yourself as unmute. Again, bottom left corner, as you can see, just look for the mic signal, and that will sort of just help you to mute and unmute. So for right now, if I were to press this, but now if you press this on, I'm now on. Another quick shortcut as well, if you are on the desktop, if you join in a session and if you're coming in on mute, what will happen is essentially press spacebar, and it will temporarily unmute yourself. And then if I take it off, so there you go. So that's another quick tool as well for people to use if they need to. Cool. Let me see if we have any questions. Anybody has any questions so far? We can maybe attend some questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going.
So we've got on YouTube, Sean, we've got 12 people.
Okay.
No one's asked any questions. Someone was
Okay.
just commenting that the audio wasn't clear, but I think it might have been a setting for them. So we've asked them to check their setting.
Sure.
Yeah, so again, just the people who are on YouTube, you have two options. You could either, if you did want to ask some questions, you could do it via the chat in the YouTube, or we've put up the link to the Zoom session in the chat channel, and you can click on that. They'll take you straight to Zoom, and you can ask there. Now, just like Sean explained, if you haven't used Zoom before, when you click on that link, it'll install Zoom on your device. So whether you're watching via a mobile device, a tablet or laptop or desktop computer, Zoom will install automatically, and then it'll proceed, once it's done the installation, and then it'll proceed to connect you to this session on Zoom. And then you can have the option to unmute yourself and ask questions. And later on, sometimes if we want to share your face, your camera, then you can start the video so people can see what you look like.
Okay, great. So we just got a question from Uncle Sean, a really good question. So his question that he asked so far is, if participants cannot be heard during Q&A, what could be the reasons other than the mic is off? A really good one. So what I would say is always, I'll just bring up my screen again so that we can sort of go through that. It's just either a case of troubleshooting, just to make sure that they have their input set up correctly. 9 out of 10 times, especially on your phone, it could be if they're on their headset, if it's either a Bluetooth headset, maybe the connection is an issue, so that's probably on their side. And they will just have to check on their audio settings, whether have they actually joined in correctly. When you join a Zoom session via your phone, you can either dial in through your normal phone reception, or you can dial in through Wi-Fi. So it could be an issue on their side, and that's something that I guess is outside of our control. The user or the participant will have to sort of look through their internet and make sure that maybe it could be a case of maybe somebody's using a lot of bandwidth from them. So that's probably why they probably couldn't be able to join in the session. Another thing that could be doing is actually just checking their audio settings. So without getting too technical over here, as you can see with mine, normally all you need to do is basically when you click your microphone and your speaker, it should be same as system. What does same as system mean? Basically means that whatever you have as default on your sound and mic setting on your laptop or on your computer or on your phone, it will just automatically come from there. I have set it up, as you can see. I've got a mic over here. I've got a different setup altogether, and we can spend another session about talking about setups later on, but I have sort of input it in such a way that it's coming out from my headphones and also through my using this mic over here. So what you need to do is basically, from a troubleshooting perspective, make sure you got the right system. You can use the Zoom test speaker and microphone system, a microphone thing, and if you click, so as you can see, it'll give you, if I hear something, great, just keep going next, and then speak, pause, you hear replay, follow that, and sort of show you the input level. Very, very rigorous testing process, so just making sure that everything's going through okay. So just click that. I hope that answers the question, but yeah, that's really, really simple ones to sort of go through that. Cool. I'll just quickly show everybody the option to basically, we have all these resources being put together as well. So in case people do get stuck on how to go through this, there are ways to go through it. So I'll just bring up my, 1 second, exit full screen. Okay, let me bring up my Chrome. We have the, oops, not this one over here. Okay. All right. So, just for everybody to know as well, we have actually collated a bunch of resources that is very, very, very useful to use in terms of like simple things like, Zoom training classes, which is what we're doing right now. some very basic video tutorials, which are really, really good. Highly recommend going through some of these videos just to really get your head around it and just understand what is involved in doing sessions like this. Very, very simple videos. It's very step by step. We just did this just then, which is testing the audio and video. I will talk about hosting a meeting later, but that's another really cool thing to really work around with that session over here. So for those of you who are running programs, some of you might go, okay, where do I find material to help do my programs? I get very, very stuck. Is there a way that I can share that on the training session? And that's definitely doable. So for example, if I have this over here, just quickly download one. As you can see, it should come up. There you go. Very, very simple, I guess, flyer, as we like to give during the sessions. Some of the affirmations, how to meditate at home, meditation exercises, balancing techniques, supplement system. We've got a bunch of them all over here. I guess have it your way, download it, prepare it. I would suggest getting this ready offline. So download it, have it in a folder for you. I would always recommend, if you're doing a program, having these saved in a offline rather than going through your thing and then download it then. It just makes it easier for the sharing perspective. So just having that over there. There's a lot more over here, I think. Oh no, it's only 4 over here, so that's on there. For those of you who are presenting, if you like to use PowerPoint, I'll talk a little bit about using the PowerPoint, which I think is quite useful. And I know some people on here who do programs using the PowerPoint, and they can share their experience as well. And I will call some of you if it's okay, I guess. Some music over here. If you want to share some music, we've got some. We're collating a list of like audio for those of you who want to use Shimaji's talks in programs, in your regular sessions, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well, in terms of the what it involves in terms of sharing audio and video on your screen. We've got a nice little, I guess, one-stop shop, like a drive for people can get certain things. So we've got Viber, we've actually collated a bunch of things over here. Got all of these things ready to go. Really, really simple. And these guys have done so much work behind the scenes, so a really big shout out to them for all the work that they've done. We can go into, I'll just quickly go into one over here.
Sean, while we're doing the introduction for Zoom, for people, could we talk a little bit about the chat session, so people, they've joined a session. They don't want to talk or they don't want to show their camera, but they'd like to ask a question. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure, for sure. So with the chat, as you can see on my screen, I'll bring up my screen again so everybody can see. So we've got this chat function over here on the bottom. When you click it, it would automatically come up to this over here. So I've got a bunch of questions over here that people ask or people go through. You have the option to directly message people. You can message all, or you can message, so for example, if I want to talk to Uncle Charles specifically, I can say hi. And you see how this would only come under, it would only appear on me and his chat, but it won't appear in everyone. So it's important to make sure you, when you talk, you're able to talk. Zoom has a very interesting way of, for example, if somebody direct messages you, it will automatically go back to the person that was messaging you before. So you just have to be careful when you press reply back, making sure you click to everyone if you want to talk to everybody in the meeting, as opposed to just having that direct conversation with that person. So just be careful when you do that. So there's a difference between doing this and me going hi, and now everybody in the Zoom call right now is able to see our conversation. This same setting is also applicable in the mobile as well. So you are able to directly message and also be able to also talk to everybody in general. Cool.
Does Zoom have the function? I don't know if I saw it somewhere. Put your hand up.
Yes.
Is that in Zoom or some other application?
I think that's on the Zoom mobile. You are able to do that on the Zoom mobile. I don't think you're able to do it over here.
Okay.
Don't think
I've
so.
got
But
my
yeah,
mobile running at the moment.
yeah, you are able to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you can. I'll
yeah. So
just
you can do like a thumbs up or like a
if you go to more, I'll just turn on my camera and just show you.
Yep.
See if I can do this.
So yep,
So
if you go to the participants.
Down. Oh, I can't see myself anymore.
Okay, I'll
There
just
we go.
yourself.
That's it.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. So that's the Zoom session running at the moment. Go to here, raise hand.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what that does.
Yep. So that
does that tell you that I want to talk?
So as you can see that so like we've got two participants who raised hands. So like for example, we've got Uncle Chan and yourself have already raised hand, and Zoom automatically prompts up that somebody has raised hand. So what I'll do is I'll just essentially I guess know that from a presenting perspective they're able to see us essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that chat function is here.
Yep. So also as you can see on my screen as well, you're able. We had it before, but you're able to also see the Zoom hand raise as well. So I'll just remove the pin, and you can actually see the hands being raised on mine. So I'll just quickly. Yep. So yeah, so it is very, very helpful. Unfortunately, it's only available on the mobile, so that's a little bit sort of limiting in terms of like if you're on a desktop, you're not able to raise your hand. But that's not an issue. It's still workable. It's not the end of the world essentially. I'm just gonna turn the light on because it looks a bit dark at the moment. So there we go. I look a little bit better.
Good. So the other thing, while I'm on this screen, while I've got the mobile up, it's got share content, this green button down here.
Yes. So
that's where if I felt adventurous, I want to show what's on my screen with everybody, then I hit that button, which is similar to what Sean is doing. He's sharing his desktop because he's using a desktop computer.
Yep.
And he's sharing his desktop with us.
Essentially, yes. So that's definitely a very cool function to have to sharing your screen. Really highly recommend to use in terms of sharing content on your own desktop. So if it could be a video, could be a an audio itself. There are ways to do it, and I'll definitely cover that for sure. Cool.
Sean, I have a question.
Yes, go for it, please.
Okay. I'm able to share screen for presentation and all that, but I don't know how to share a screen without the video, but only the audio playing. How to do it?
Very good question. I'll quickly show that. So I'm just going to stop share so you can actually see. Actually, I'll do that right now. Okay, so right now, so as you can see with mine, you can see my screen. I've got two desktops running, so you can see my one, and you can see number two over here. I've got a couple options. You can connect your phone, iPhone, and iPad are very good to doing that. I've heard that they're doing an Android version in the works. So for those of you with the Androids, have faith, you'll be there. Now to answer the question about sharing sound. So if you look over here, when you share your screen, there's an option over here where you just want to share audio, right? You can share sound over here. You can go to your advanced tab and it just shares computer audio. So once you do that, what will happen is it'll just be only sharing computer audio. So right now you can see me on your screen, but you will also, for example, I'm just going to quickly play a Spotify tune. If I were to play something for like Indian classical music. So now you're able to hear the audio.
So this is what I want to do, but I'm able to play the video, but I've not been successful in playing just the audio alone.
Okay.
Why is that so?
So if you just follow my setting, I'll just do it again. Okay. Oh, mine just automatically shares. So I'll just quickly share again. So share screen. Oops, sorry. So if I share screen, it should automatically, if I
Uh-huh.
do a new share again, you should go to your, when you go to your thing, you should go to advanced and
Oh,
then,
you have to go to advanced.
yes, yeah. So if you see my window now, Auntie, you can see that I've got a thing that says computer audio.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You can do it right now as well. I don't think, oh no, actually you won't be able to because you're not a host. So,
Yeah, because
yep.
I'm not the co-host or host.
Yeah. So if you're when you share screen, you're able to. You need to go to the advanced and then click computer audio, and then that will only share your audio. It will not share what's on your screen.
Video.
If that makes yes, that's right.
I
Yeah.
see. No,
Yeah.
this is because during meditation, just want to play the music without the video.
Yep.
And I had always had problem with this because
Yes.
I always click share screen,
Yep.
and then the video comes up.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it looks like I will try the feature and see.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things
Thank you.
I would definitely recommend is actually playing around before you, if for those of you who are wanting to like run sessions and things like that, I do highly recommend just playing around with the system a little bit more. That's how I was able to basically be able to run my sessions. I used to run a lot of my sessions by myself. I did the tech support, I did the video, audio, everything all by myself. But it was all just me, just basically mucking around with things and just go, ooh, what if I did this? What if I did that? But I did it all in my own sort of time. But I would say recommend playing around with the share screen. What's really cool with the share screen is you're able to also, like, for example, share a portion of your screen. So you don't have to necessarily share the entirety of your desktop. So you can share, like, for example, I sometimes have a PDF open on my, that shows like the chakra chart or something, and I can actually show a portion. So for example, if I click this portion screen right here, it's important to note when you're sharing screen, if you're wanting to share the audio as well, you need to click this tab over here. It doesn't automatically come on, so you have to click that tab, and then boom. And then obviously I'm able to share the portion of the screen. So that's that one there. And then the other thing is also when you're sharing your screen, it's important to click this optimize for video clip. What does that mean? Is basically Zoom will be able to optimize the viewing from a user perspective and be able to essentially, you don't have to do a lot of adjustment. It will just do their own thing. As you can see on the instruction over there, it says optimize the screen sharing for the best full screen video clip viewing experience. Zoom has built it in such a way that it's easy. It's just a matter of clicks and then you're great. Life's good.
Sean, it's 10 to 12.
Yep.
I think we've pretty well, thank you. I think we've pretty well covered the introduction to Zoom for the new people.
Yep.
Should we did advertise that we'll be starting at 12 o'clock for the hosting session.
Yep.
But I think we should, I think we're ready to start. The questions and the discussion sort of heading in that direction, isn't it?
Yeah,
about the hosting.
Like yeah.
So let's just ask if the people who are on Zoom or on YouTube, if they have any questions in particular about getting started on Zoom. And if not, we may introduce the next session and start a bit early.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm monitoring the YouTube session. There's no questions come up from there.
I think looking at the Zoom one, we've got a question from Deshaun over here, who is in Louisiana, United States. Hello on the other side of the world. No centers in Louisiana. I'd like to set up an online center in Louisiana, and I would like to get some assistance in creating a website. I think Uncle Charles, what do you think about that?
Well, that's certainly you should contact the yogis in the US. They're very strong in this area. We don't have the contacts, but I'm sure a few questions in the right area, you'll get a lot of support for what you want to do. And because they may have these sort of programs already set up, not just for your location, but for other areas around the USA. So I'd suggest to contact the yogis in the United States and see what they can help you with. And if there's no joy in that area, please get back to us, get back to Sean, and we'll give you all the assistance that you need. But I'd be surprised if you won't get a lot of support from the US guys there.
Yeah, 100%. I think the US crew, they've got also something really awesome happening as well. So I do recommend reaching them out as well. They've definitely got something going as well. But yeah, as Uncle Charles was saying, Deshaun, if you have any questions, do reach out to us. We'll do our best to help you as well, for sure.
So let's then finish off. So I think we've done the introduction piece quite well. You've shown people where to go to find the resources. Maybe we put that link up. I put it up in the chat, but I put it as a private one to you, Sean. So if you could put that link, that resources link, in the chat in the Zoom session.
Sure. Yep, no worries.
And then once you've done that, we'll move over to the
done that. Sweet.
Hosting piece. So can I just show a little bit about what the end game is with the hosting and what we've been doing with the webcast calendar? Can I share my screen?
Let me just make sure that's that. All participants. Yep, should be able to now.
Okay. Okay, are you able to see the webcast calendar?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Great. Okay. All right. So we're now going to move over to the hosting session of the meeting. So we've covered off the introduction, and this is for people who have installed Zoom, have used Zoom, are familiar with Zoom, have played around with it, and they would like to go to the next step, and they would like to present a program. As we said earlier, it doesn't necessarily they need to present a program, but if they want to host a session with their family, a Zoom session with their family, this all applies in the same way. But today is more about how we use Zoom to spread Sahaja Yoga. And what we have here is on the screen, what we're showing you here is our list of live events that we do during the week. And there's a mixture here. So just as it says here, we've got, we do live events on YouTube, Zoom, and Facebook. And just recently, we're also starting to do sessions on radio. So once you become proficient in learning how to use Zoom and you're ready to present a public program, then what we do is we list the public program on this list here. This is on our freemeditation.com.au/webcast site. And this is what we advertise on our social platforms, on our news blog, on our freemeditation.com site. So this is basically the landing page. We also run Google advertising. So people who are interested in learning about Sahaja Yoga come on this page and they can see what sessions that are queued up for each day of the week. We almost have something every day. In some cases, we have more than 3 sessions. So here, for example, Monday looks very busy at the moment. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions on Monday. There's Zoom, radio, more Zoom sessions, and a Facebook session. And because our audience is international, we do put the Sydney time there that you can see. But rather than people trying to calculate what time it's going to be in their local area, we have a countdown clock that we've put in, and it counts down to when the session starts. When the session starts, the clock disappears. So these ones, which were held earlier this morning, or yesterday, Saturday and Sunday, they've disappeared. The clock has expired, so the sessions have ended. The YouTube sessions are always recorded, so if people miss a session on YouTube, it's also available there to watch. But today is all about Zoom, and once you are confident that you can host a program, we'll give you a slot during the week that you can use, and generally we try to spread it out. So in some cases, there's a bit of an overlap. So we've got a radio and a Zoom session happening at 6, which is unusual, but we try to avoid that if possible. And so we find a slot for you that's suitable for yourself, and we then put you in this list of events that we have during the week. So we get the title of the session and a bit of a description of what you're planning to present. So you're free to present any content that you like. They generally all have the same format: introduction, it's a talk about Srimataji, a talk about Sahaja Yoga. Naturally, with Zoom sessions being interactive, you may have people who are new, and then you may need to then run a more of a beginner's class for those people. And sometimes you may have more regulars, so then you can have a lot more in-depth programs. So at the moment, these ones that we've got some being hosted from Sydney. You can see Brisbane, Germany, Canberra, Brisbane, and I think that's all the ones. What else have we got? Got a few others. Now, because we're obviously global, the time that we broadcast generally suits us. But if you find that you want to broadcast at an unusual time, midnight, or very early in the morning, there's no reason why we can't support that, and we just find the appropriate time and find the appropriate slot for you and put you here. So after the session with Sean today, if you feel comfortable and confident that you do want to start running some programs, then we would suggest after the training is to do a couple of dry runs, get a couple of yogis to be as participants for you, get used to the platform. Certainly we all have mothers giving us the blessing to innately know how to present programs. But as Sean was saying, not only are you presenting the program, but you've got all the dials, the switches, clicking and chatting, and there's a whole lot of things going on at the same time. So you only become proficient in that is through repetition, just doing it several times. And then once you've gone through a couple of dry runs with the yogis, then let us know, and then we'll add you to the list here, and you can start broadcasting a session each week, or 2 or 3, as many as you like. There's plenty hours in the week that you could use. So you could be on here 24/7 if you wish. So this is the end game. And so the session that Sean's going to take us through now is basically the technicalities of how you pull all that together. We've got the elements, you've got the PowerPoint slides, you've got the video talks, you've got the chatting going on, you've got the talk with the yogis or the new people. Some people don't know how to unmute and mute. So it's a lot of the things that we were just touching on during that earlier session. Sean will take us through and the things that he's learned. We know also on this session, there's Shan, who's very proficient in this tool. So please, everybody, please feel free to contribute, to share your experience and knowledge about the platform and what you have found works really well in presenting mothers' talks and mothers' programs. So this session should end at about 1 o'clock. If we finish early, that's fine. If we want to take longer, that's fine also. It would take as long as you like. So thank you, Sean, again. Over to you.
No worries. Awesome. So let's just get straight back.
Stop sharing.
Yeah, no worries. Great. Okay, so I'm just gonna pin myself again, and then we can share screen. Okay, cool. So what I'll go through now quickly is just the basic interface of Zoom itself, what you can do, what you like, what also things you should be aware of and things like that. So first and foremost, when you join a meeting, obviously the first thing is to making sure that this is on and all that kind of stuff. What we need to do is just making sure that we check your system, make sure it's all okay. As you can see, I've got mine I've got a mic set up over here, and I've connected it to a audio interface. If you want to know a little bit more about how my setup is, we can talk a bit about later. But for you, you can do easily with your own laptop, and you're good to go. Just your laptop and your normal camera, it's perfectly fine. And then also just checking your video over here. Now, what I'll do as well is also going through the other panels that we have on the bottom over here. Some of these are good to know. Some of these are may not be fruitful to you. Take as you see as you see it. So as you can see over here, we've got the security. This is basically talking about, you know, locking the meeting, enable waiting room. Most of our Sajiga meetings have a waiting room as a normal default. So you, as the host, if you're starting a meeting and if you're logging in, if you are the one that created that meeting, you're able to sort of be that control on that. But if you're joining a meeting, I can definitely guarantee right now you probably won't have this thing about security. Why I am able to look at it? Because I am the host. So being able to go through that. So I will now show you what you can do as a meeting hoster. And then after that, I will also show you from the side of a participant what you can see, what you can't see. Please also feel free to do this in real time as well as you see me doing it, and also if you have your phone or on your laptop, that'll be really, really helpful as well. What we're going to do right now is just go through, as I said before, just these various tabs. So we got the security. I can choose what I want to do over here. So for example, like I was the host of this meeting, I was able to allow Uncle Charles to share his thing. And that is a thing that you can do as a host. But if you're a participant, this security tab will not go over here. You know, you can click the chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves, so they have the power to do that, as in they have the ability to control the muting and unmuting. You start video. Again, these are within your control. You can remove participants if you want to, or you can suspend participants actively, so that means they can't chat or they can't do anything and things like that. That's that one over there. Participants is basically just allowing you to see who is in the chat. So you can see, like, for example, I can mute and also be able to do things and whatnot. So for example, I can go more. I can make a co-host, put in waiting room if you want to, remove, report, ask to start video, and all that kind of stuff. So Uncle Sean just asked a really good question. Does co-host have all the rights of the main host? Well, yes and no. You should be able to, if someone were to make you as a co-host, if that happens automatically. So what I'm going to do right now, Uncle Chan, you're able to see this in real time. I'm just going to make you a co-host, and you should be able to see the security coming up. So if I'm just going to do that, make co-host. So what's going to happen is just say this, a bit of a prompt, 3, 2, 1. So now, Uncle Chan, you are able to see the security tab on your far left, and you're able to now control it. And that should give you similar rights. So essentially, like the word says co-host, you have the same rights as the host. And that means that also you can end the meeting by accident as well. So just to be mindful about that. And that's that one there. So as you can see also on the participants tab now, you are able, so Uncle Chan now is being seen as the co-host, and everybody else is now just as a normal host. But the main host is still me, but I still have the control over how things goes and whatnot. Cool, I'm just going to remove that. So, and just by removing that means you can withdraw the co-host thing. Cool. So that's that one there with the participants. Chat function, as you can see, you can automatically click that. Open. As I'm demonstrating this is from a laptop perspective. The mobile will have a different interface, so to speak. Similar things, but I think with the security part, it might be a little bit hard to configure on the mobile or iPad. I haven't personally played around with the iPad side of things, but if you are presenting or hosting, my strong recommendation is to actually be on a laptop to do your presentation and to do the programs, because there's just more functionality in there as opposed to being on an iPad. So for example, one of the limitations that you do in like your mobile devices, if you do your presentation, if you were to share screen, by default, Zoom can only operate one thing at a time. So when I say one thing at a time, on the mobile device that you have. So if you were sharing screen on your mobile or your iPad, your video will be taken off. So I will basically be a blank screen. It will just be whatever it is on your screen itself, on your tablet or on your mobile device. So that's one of the things that make me not necessarily comfortable to do a presentation, so to speak, on my mobile device. I just prefer doing it on the laptop because it gives me more functionality. As you can see, I'm able to do a lot more things over here. So that's that one there. Sharing screen, which I know a lot of us are very keen to know, so I'll quickly go through that, and I'll also explain to you how I do it. Now with mine, I've set up in such a way that it automatically shares my desktop. I'll show you a way to actually manipulate that share screen thing. So with your share screen, if you go into your Zoom, for those of you on Mac, if you go to your preferences, that's how I go over here. You can also access it through your video settings or your audio settings, because they have a one-stop shop for all of them over here. You can choose what happens when you share your screen. I think this is a very, very fruitful tool to have, to know how to do this, because especially for those of you who are sharing Shimaji's talks and also the video, very, very important to go through. So if you can do this in real time, it would be super awesome. Looking at my screen as well, you can see the video size when screen sharing. When I share my screen automatically, it's currently now going into a full screen. So what does that mean? If I were to stop share right now, you're not able to see me, okay? You just see me on my video, and that's all it is, okay? But if you were to see me share my screen now, what's gonna happen is, it will see how it is right now. If I were to click this, it would sort of just normally do that. It's not doing it automatically because I'm currently on this screen over here. But if I were to go to maximize window, it will just maximize my window. And maintaining your current size means it doesn't change your Zoom layout. Very, very important to play around. Decide which one works best for you. I personally like the whole full screen mode because it just makes it easy for me and just a bit more fun. Like for me, just I know that I'm sharing it properly and whatnot, so it makes it easy, and that's that one there. So the other thing also is scale to fit shared content to Zoom window. So what does that mean? So this window that you can see in front of you right now, this is the Zoom window. So whatever is being seen in this window will be seen on the end user's perspective. So as you can see right now, you can see on my right side, I've got the participants on my side. I can also see everything that's basically on my desktop. Show my Zoom windows to other participants when I'm screen sharing. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Side-by-side mode, if you click that over here, while viewing other shared screens, automatically place participants or videos to the right of the shared screen. So when I was sharing screen, this automatically came to my right. I didn't do anything. Zoom has done that because I've clicked this one over here. This is a very cool thing to have, silence system notifications when sharing desktop. So when you're sharing your screen, sometimes you get a thing saying, oh, an appointment is coming up, or some really random things coming up, which can be quite a personal thing, which you don't want to let other people to know as well. So this is a very useful thing to have over here. Now, sharing applications, this is a very useful tool as well for those of you who are using multi-window. On a personal note, I do a lot of music teaching via Zoom, and I do with my software, I have like multiple windows that come up with it. This is a very useful tool, for example, if you want to share all the windows from an application. So for example, with my software, I use Logic Pro, and that has a lot of like pop-up windows that come through. So if I click this option over here, every single thing that pops up from that software, it will automatically be shared. But if I were to share a individual window, say for example, if I'm sharing only my Chrome or my web browser, it would only share that. It won't share, like for example, if I do anything on my Finder and things like that, or on my folders, nobody are able to do that but me. As this one over here, this is the one that I recommend people to play around with to sort of see how it goes. When I share my screen in a meeting, automatically share desktop. So as you can see over here, if I were to stop share my screen, you can see me now. But when I share my screen again one more time, what's going to happen is see how it automatically comes up like that. That's because I've got this automatic shared desktop option over here. But if I were to click this show all sharing options, If I were to stop share again, now when I click share screen, I'll be able to have the various options. For example, I can choose my desktops on my basic tab, and then advanced and my portion screen and all that kind of stuff like that. So just closing that. I like to put the automatically share desktop. That's just personal preference. You decide what is best for you. It's ideal if you have multiple screens, so that way you can have this automatically share desktop thing. But just make sure, for those of you who only are using your laptop, to make sure you click this show all sharing option so that you actually know what you want to share, if that helps. Cool. I'm just going to bring that back again so you can see. Great. Cool. Now, when I share directly to a Zoom room, so I've done again automatically share desktop. Again, you can choose the all sharing option. It's perfectly up to you how you want to do it. These two are not directly correlated. That's your Zoom room, your own personal one. So that's essentially how it goes over there for doing that. Advanced screen. A little bit more technical. You don't have to worry about it. Play around if you want to, but I personally say you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure that these things are all to your necessity. So that's that one over there. We've got the chat function. You can also manipulate the chat function if you want to, how you want to do it. We've got people who play around with backgrounds and filters. I've had friends who play around with this. It's a personal thing. It's up to you. I wouldn't play around with it. Recording, if I want to record my meetings, especially, but if you're doing it through Sahaja Yoga website, through the Sahaja Yoga account, it is automatically recorded. As you can see on my thing, there's already recorded over there, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Profile, stats, yeah, that's pretty much all there is over there. Cool. So that's obviously the share screen option. If you want to share, or as I said, if you want to share audio, you know, what you do is you go to advanced, share only computer audio, and that's what you do. That means that if you want to play your talks, or you want to play your just music at the background, you make sure you click that one. So remember, share screen, advanced, computer audio. If you have another set of camera, you can do that as well. If you want to only share a portion of your screen, you can definitely do that as well, just by clicking that, and you can manipulate that. So for example, if I'm going to click this over here, I can manipulate how much I want to share. So for example, say I want to share this much, and I can control the size. So for example, here I'm sharing this. So when you share your screen, you're only sharing, when you see on your thing, you're only able to see this little green box. As I expand it, I can expand it like that. So you'll be able to see it in real time. I'm sharing it now slowly, bigger and bigger. And, you know, so that makes it easy for those of you who just only want to share a portion of your screen. That will sort of just be the way to go. So I'm just going to stop share that one so we can see again. Great, good. Again, if anybody has any questions or if I'm going too fast, please let me know. I want to make sure that everybody is understanding what we're doing over here. Great, so just give me, let's go back here again. Okay, good. All right, cool. So we have a question. How do I play soft music at low volume in the background while the presenter is talking without compromising the presenter's audio? Very, very good question. I dabbled with this a lot personally as well. So you can do that. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I'm just going to open up my Spotify. So you can see, for example, if I'm going to play a song over here, when you play a music, you have to control the the audio on your side. So for example, if I'm presenting something over here, I've got my audio happening. So say for example, I'm playing audio over here. So this is me at max. If you want to play it softly, you just go like that. So you would do it like that. I like to keep it at sort of just anything below 25% or 20%. Play as you see fit. Do a couple of test runs yourself and see how it works. So I've still got the music happening, but it's quite low. I can increase the volume if I want to. So by having this in the background, you're still able to run your presentation, still able to do it quite well. The only thing I would talk about is just making sure that you have this manually happening. So when I share my my screen, I always just share the audio and be able to just control that a bit more easier. So obviously if I max that out, now if I'm talking, you probably can't hear me now because it's way too loud. So I bring this down. Slowly going down, so that's how to do it. So this is how you sort of manually control it. Unfortunately, you can't use your normal volume up, volume down on your laptop because that's going to affect the Zoom itself, so it doesn't talk both ways. I like to manually actually move that around. And also I think for me, because I can't actually control my volume because I've got an audio interface connected, so I have to actually manually do the moving around. So I personally say actually moving that up and down. Do a couple of try runs and see how much of a volume that works for you. Whatever you hear is also whatever they're hearing as well. So that's the great thing about Zoom. Everything is all in real time. It sort of just help you. What I would suggest is putting them all on cue, and you can sort of just get them ready to go. So for example, I've got a playlist over here. I just get them ready and I just choose whatever I want and I play them as I see fit. So that's that one there. Cool. I'll just close this one and stop this one. Okay. Cool. All right, let's just max this one up. Okay, cool. All right, I think we got another question again. Let's see what Cool. Uncle Shan, I hope that answers your question. Let me know if you need any more questions, please. Cool. Got another question. Hi, Sean. Can you share what you are showing on its own, i.e. to make the text bigger? We don't need to see the presenter's video as well as we can see your video on the side as well. Also, your video is reversed for your mirror benefit. I think you can unreverse your video. Yes, you can. That's totally cool. Great question, Uncle Andrew. I will go through that in steps. So I'll first start with the reversing of the video. So if you just go to your video settings, as I've got my video on mirror. So if I take that off, now you see me that way. Pretty cool technique to do it. So for example, now my right hand is my right hand and my left hand is my left hand. But if I were to do this over here, left looks as right and then it's the other way. So you can play around with that. So that's essentially how you play around with that. You can play around with the videos like original ratio HD. I like to keep them on. HD is also just making sure that your video looks high definition from a viewer's perspective. And what we can do is also making sure that you click the original ratio and that kind of stuff. Play around with this, see as you see fit. You can also hide non-video participants. So for example, if you have a presentation that has multiple people in the video, but you don't want to show people who don't have video, you can actually do that. So that would just automatically come up over there. More useful if it's like in case you want to take a screenshot of people who are in your meeting and things like that. That's really helpful to go through that. I click this normally on. You can read a little bit more about it if you want to know a bit more, but that's a little bit more technical. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but this is how I've set my Zoom up to make it work for me. So I hope that answers your question, Uncle Andrew, in terms of the mirror. I can... like I said, you can mirror it, unmirror, mirror, same thing. Just whatever's easiest for you, essentially. So that's that one there. Good, close that one. The other part of the question is, can you share what you are showing on its own, i.e. to make the text bigger? We do not need to see the presenter's video as well as we can see your video on the side anyway. So if you want to do that, if you look at your gallery. Now with the view of your speakers and everything, you are able to, for example, there is a way to actually pin your video in a Zoom meeting. So right now, as you can see, you're seeing me alone. If I were to remove the pin, you should be able to see everybody now. And then if I were to do that right now, so if I stop my share, you will now see, I think, everybody on your screen. And from that way, you're able to also decide who is the highlight of your of those speaking to you. So with mine, what I do is I basically do a method where I pin certain people onto my video. So for example, if I don't want them to look at me, I just hide myself. If I hide my video, oh, okay. Let me just see. All right. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. I'll just share my screen again so you can see. Okay. It was here before. No, what happened there? Okay, cool. So if I were to click right now, so say for example, if someone unmutes and they start speaking, they're able to see that on the stream itself. So for example, if I were to click the view over here, now we see everybody that is in the meeting on its own. But if I were to click this into speaker, it would just be here. But if you wanted to just show only your the presentation but not your video, I would suggest just turning off your video so that nobody is able to see you. So for example, if I were to stop my video now, you probably won't. You probably only see my screen, and that's pretty much how it is go over here. And obviously, I just turn it on again. So you can set it up so that it sets on the side. It does automatically do that. But obviously with me right now, because I am screen sharing my thing, I won't be able to see that on the side. It would normally just appear it normally on the side. But if you want to close yourself, you can actually do that. That's actually quite an easy thing to do. Just press, if you just stop the video, it should be all right. So that's perfectly that. We can talk a little bit more offline, Uncle Andrew, if you need a little bit more help on that. But I hope that answers your question for the time being. Cool. All right, so we got the next part over here. So you've got the polling, which is basically running a poll. I've seen people use this one, but this is more like if you like it, cool, great. If you want to use, for example, you can create a poll. Say I can add a question, and I could add certain questions that I want to, and that automatically triggers you going into your Zoom on your web browser. There's another whole topic about using the Zoom web browser to use that to your advantage, but that's more technical side. I won't go too much detail unless anybody wants to know a little bit more about that. I haven't used this personally myself, but I've seen other yogis use it. It is quite useful, but I would suggest preloading the questions beforehand, so that it makes it a bit more easy, so people can just go poll, create, boom, done, and that's right away. Okay. Pause, stop recording. That seems pretty obvious, so we don't have to worry about that. So you can have reactions. Okay, cool. I think this is a new thing. Before you couldn't have reactions, but now you can. So for example, if I do this, now you can see a thumbs up on my left hand over there. Just take that off. Don't think you can take that off. I'm not sure how to do that. Support is basically talking to Zoom support. This is something that only from if you want to reach out to the Zoom support team, only from a paid version, if it helps. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we've got the, I've currently put this on live stream, so if I were to stop it, I would press that, so obviously you wouldn't be able to see me. So that's one over here. Now in regards to something I wanted to say now, I forgot. Oh yes, viewing your screen. So if I were to stop share right now, you will only be seeing me on your screen right now. You won't be seeing my actual Zoom window. Now, if I put this onto, if I were to put this onto a gallery, and be able to, if you see a Zoom window, you're able to sort of go on the top right and say something that's called view. Say speaker, which is actually me as a person, and then you've got your gallery. So I'll just bring this up again so you guys can see it. So if you share screen, so if I were to go top right, speaker, gallery. Normally when I'm not screen sharing, it will show me the list of participants in the meeting on the top over there, and gallery, that's just showing it like that. Do note, this is currently the way I'm sharing my screen is because you can see my desktop. But if you change this over here, it doesn't matter. This is only viewing from your own desktop, how you want to view your thing. So for example, if somebody's speaking, if I had another participant that's having this mic on and they're speaking as well, it will automatically go to the speaker, that person's screen instead. This is just viewing from your perspective. So for example, gallery over here. Now you can see the participants that are present over here. Okay. There is another option as well for remote control. You can also pause share. If I click that, pause, that means now you can see me alone. If you click that again, you're back to normal. So that's how you would do over there. Okay. Remote control is something that's, say for example, if you have somebody who's a co-host, you can click remote control, and I can give the control of somebody using their mouse and keyboard, your mouse and keyboard, to them, and they will control everything from your from their desktop. But it has to be requested by the host, and only hosts are able to do it. And these are all the hosting things that you're able to choose through over here. Pause recording support, and whatnot. Cool. Cool. We got a question. How do you share videos one after another? Do you open multiple tabs or put it in a folder? That depends. Are you talking about like if for a context, if it's like say a video of Shimaji giving realization and another video of Shimaji's talk, or yeah, it's I think I need a little bit more context, but to answer your question, this as just a general blanket, I would personally load them up on different tabs, if you like, or if you have like a VLC player, if you have like a VLC player or a or like a QuickTime player, whichever works for you, just load the videos all offline. My suggestion is to ensure that your participants are able to see your footage clearly without any lags and whatnot. It would be best for you to get them all offline and ready to go rather than having to stream it on YouTube and things like that. So I would say load them all offline, put it onto your VLC or your QuickTime or your Windows Media Player, load them up and then go one after the other, and just do a quick dry run on that. That would be my suggestion, because if you do have it running on YouTube, one thing to note about screen sharing is when you're sharing your video and your audio, your bandwidth has to be like yours. So what does that mean? All of us have either broadband internet or somewhat of a fast internet that we have normally at our homes. It means that, for example, if somebody else is watching a streaming platform or Netflix or another thing at the same time, it's going to affect your streaming quality. So if you are doing a presentation, it is best that you have whatever time you do. So for example, if your program is for an hour, that hour is for you, so that the bandwidth is for you. Nobody else is like piggybacking off that of that internet connection. Sorry, on your internet connection. Because what's going to happen is, if you do have multiple people running across, your audio will sound good, but the only issue is the video might be a little bit laggy. So
Sean, just to clarify on that point, when you say everybody, you mean within the household?
Yes, within the household, correct. That's
Yeah,
right.
and everybody connected to that Wi-Fi connection or that internet connection within the house or building or whatever. You're not talking about other people around the in the other area. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Thanks for that clarification, Uncle Charles. But I think one thing to also note as well, there's a lot of factors that go behind it as well, because it also depends on, if your internet provider has current works happening at the same time as well. So we won't know how to navigate through that issue. So there's a lot of factors that go behind it. What I would suggest is do a quick speed test. So I'll just put the link on top of there on the chat as well. Speed test. So it's called speedtest.net. I'll just copy that and paste that. So it's www.speedtest.net. I'll also, Uncle Charles, can you please put that on the YouTube as well, so that people can look at that, please? So what I would suggest is running that speed test. And
yes, it's on YouTube now.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Uncle. So if you run that speed test, I'll actually run this right now on my window so you can see it. Oops. All right. Okay. So we'll put this all. I'll just share my screen now. Share Google Chrome. Oh, not that. Okay, cool. So now you're able to run this. So for example, right now I've got my Chrome running. If I were to click this, so it's now running a test. Just let it do its own thing. So as you can see with mine, I've got a 53 megabytes download speed and upload speed. This is an okay speed. What you want to try and do is actually get the 100 megabytes per second thing. I know that's a very technical discussion. If you want to talk a little bit more about like which providers and things like that, that's something that you will have to sort of do your own research. But to really make it as simple as it is, run that speed test. Get it. If your download speed is at least at 50 megabytes per second, it should hypothetically run when you stream your when you share your videos and your audio, and also having your video all at the same time, and assuming that nobody else is using your internet connection in that household for that time that you're doing your presentation, everything should run smoothly. It is a little bit of a hit and miss, I'll be honest. A lot of those people who are dabbling into the whole live streaming and online presentation will have done a lot of research in this, and in order to do that, you have to really set up like souped up connections and have this Wi-Fi boost and stuff like that. A little bit more technical, but I won't go too much on that. I would suggest, if you know anybody who is in that space, do consult with them so that they can help you. The other thing that I've also found out in my research in this is it's better for you to connect your laptop or your desktop through the Ethernet, so actually through cable to cable rather than to Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi, because it's been proven that Ethernet connection from your from your desktop to the computer, to the actual Ethernet source, your internet connection is the strongest, because Wi-Fi, it's wireless, but it also has a couple of distraction and have over there. That will be my suggestion. So like, for example, my current setup right now, I do have a booster that's just near where where my current setup is, but it is recommended that you do have a booster on your side if you have a Wi-Fi with you. So that's that one.
Sean?
Yep.
We have we've been going into a lot of detail and a lot of technical pieces, technical components at the moment. Can we maybe just move a little bit across and talk about presentation? You know, those videos I showed that we've got on the resources site.
Yep.
How to set up the camera, the lighting,
Yep.
what to have behind you, all those sort of cosmetic things that
Sure.
really make a presentation look nice. Yeah.
Sure. Awesome. So very, very good point. I do know there's some couple of questions.
Make sure you have lipstick on.
Yeah.
Hair is combed.
Yep.
You're not sitting in there with your PJs.
Yeah, exactly. So what I would suggest is, first of all, in terms of the nitty-gritties of getting the ideal setup for your presentation. So as you can see with my room, I've got a bit of light happening around. There's a lot of people who buy this thing called a light ring. And that's to really just sort of touch up your face and make you look a bit more brighter. If I were to do that, that's another. It's not as, in terms of cost, it doesn't really make. It's up to you if you want to buy it. I think they come quite cheap. But if you want to really touch up your appearance, that's really up to you. But there are some really simple tips. For example, the way I've set up my video, what I would suggest is making sure that you're not cut off. So say, for example, if I'm going like this, it's going to look really, really weird. But if you go like that, you see how you can see my whole body. That's probably more, from a presenting perspective, it actually makes it a little bit more easy. So the way I would always tell people whenever they want to do their presentation, imagine if this is actually happening to you real time. So you got to set up your camera in such a way that people are able to see your whole body. If you have yourself cut off over here, it doesn't look pleasing. So it's better for you to make sure that you're able to view your camera in such a way. Now, I've got so with this camera I've got over here, it's a very simple, it's for those of you who are looking for brands to look into buying it. It's the Logitech C922 Pro Stream camera. That's what I've got. I'll just put the name over here. Very simple entry-level webcam camera if you feel that your laptop one is not working well. Very simple one. It also comes with like a tripod that you can also move things around. Don't be too close. So for example, try not to go like this all the way like that. Try to go a bit more, sort of a bit more distance away. So the way I've set up my camera, it's such a way that I've got a little bit more distance on it. I've got a bit of like an actual arm's length over here. So that's very ideal, so people can actually see me as opposed to having your sort of really face on. So play around with the adjusting of this. You can do that. When you join a Zoom meeting or when you do a presentation, there is an option for you to set up your video, so you can actually have a quick preview of how your video looks like. So I would highly suggest doing that quick test run on yourself.
Another one is people tend to use laptops a lot now because they've got inbuilt cameras.
Yep.
And I've noticed while I'm talking, do you want to go to that resources site?
Yep.
Just
Sure,
to show
sure.
the video?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's quite a common thing that you see people who use a laptop and they've got the laptop on their desk. Yep. And the camera's basically at their chin level. And that image that you're just showing, that first one of that lady with the big X, you get that effect. So you're basically looking up at people's noses when you're...
Hey, it's Angie, and welcome to Hot and Flash.
I don't know how long that goes for. But this lady, for example, they all suggest if you've got a laptop, you need to put it up on a box so the camera is actually in line with your eyes and not below or above. And it tends to be the nicest.
So what I'll do right now is I'm gonna I'll stop sharing, but I'm gonna change my camera to my actual laptop camera. So I'll just quickly show people an example. So as you can see with my laptop camera, it's like facing up that way. It's more towards the ceiling. What you want
And that's a very common view that you see people using, isn't it?
So people need to do is basically go like this. It has to be center. What's really cool about my laptop is I've got a little like green dot over there, and that's where the camera is right now. So if I were to just wipe that over there, so as you can see, it's right there, straight up. So what we want to try is making sure that the laptop is perpendicular to you rather than it being like that. Because if you're going to go like this, it's going to look really, really weird and nobody will really pay attention to you. So I suggest just keeping it like that. Uncle Charles does have a good point in terms of putting it on like a box or on a thing. Make the light be at your eye level rather than it being. So at the moment, you see how it is kind of on my eye level, but just a little bit lower. Position is totally up to you, but just try and keep it so that it's quite easy to go through a bit more better. As you can see, my inbuilt camera is not the best quality, so I'll switch back to my other camera, which is a little bit more better. So that's how I've got it over there. So
Sean, I also noticed whenever you've presented programs and other yogis who presented programs, the respect to Shrimataji is always there. There's always a photo of Mother to the side or in the back, and she's included as part of the program.
Yes.
And it's not just us presenting, but we're presenting Sahaja Yoga on her behalf.
Yep.
But maybe just talk a little bit what you've learned works best in the way you set that up.
Yeah, so I do have two ways. I do have two logistics in that. I used to, whenever I do my presentation, I actually set up a little mini altar on the side as well. And I do spend some time. So for example, I used to have sessions that start from like 1 o'clock. And I'll do spend like a good 20 minutes, like putting a little mini altar over here, just having it on the side. Some people have a physical altar. Some people have you can do the share screen option where you share Shimaji's photo. You can share like the chakra chart, so to speak. So for example, I can do a quick demonstration of how I do when I was doing my presentation before. Chakra. If it's responding. So you can actually share your, so if you were to show before, okay. What you can do with this is, so there's one way of actually just sharing it via like actually having a physical altar next to you, but the other option you can do is actually sharing that portion screen. So you can share, for example, portion of your screen, making sure you click the share screen and optimize for video clip. And what I've done so far is I can just now click that over here. And now I've just been able to click Shimaji's photo over here. That's another way. Again, you don't detract yourself from the from you and the presenter, but it's physically present that Shimaji is there and things like that. I've got this little pull-up banner that is easy for you to use, and I can sort of make it a bit more smaller, make it bigger. But again, it's outside my control. It's really a personal choice as to what you want to do. I did both. I used to have the altar on my side, like a simple photo Shimaji, candle, and a little sort of desk. What you want to try and do is set it up in such a way that people can see Shimaji's photo. Again, the same concept, pretending that Shimaji's altar on your side, if you're doing the physical setup, it is in a way that it's like, again, another person that's speaking to you, so making sure that they're not heads too cut off, all in the eye level essentially over there. So that will be my definite suggestion over here. I used to spend like a good 10-20 minutes beforehand just to set everything up and also settle my attention. That's how I did it. But for example, if I had back-to-back stuff and I would go straight into my program, I'll just get this little pop-up chart ready and then good to go, and then that's pretty much there. So I would say always getting your stuff ready beforehand is really ideal. Just so when you do your program, it's a little bit more settled, not too rushed on that. I think we had one more question on the Zoom. Someone was asking. Okay, I think from Uncle Sean. Okay, so let's say we say a collective mantra and the speaker enables all the participants' mic. The collective sounds that comes through are not synced. Any way to get this around? Yes and no. Okay. Yes, in the sense that if you have some high-tech equipment behind the scene, that making sure that the delay is not mitigated is what we call latency. Yes. But in all honesty, as a normal setup, no, there's no work around it. It is better for you to just mute everybody and one person lead the thing, and they just sort of do their own thing, essentially their own time. Yeah, it's only something that I think even in the professional world, they say only one person speaking in time because there is a lag issue to sort of work around with that. So I would say, yeah, have the presenter say the mantra, and then you know, and then and you just mute everybody else from that. I hope that answers your question. Sorry, it's not a great one, but it is what it is. Cool. Next one from Uncle Andrew. Can all participants, apart from host and co-host, be blocked from unmuting? Yes, you can. There is a way. So if you go into, if you're a host, when you go to security, you can click the think about allowing participants to unmute themselves. So for example, right now, I'm actually going to do this as a quick demonstration so you can see. So you can share screen. Yep. Okay. So now, if I were to do that security right now, I'm going to press this thing called unmute themselves. All of you that are on the Zoom meeting should not be able to unmute yourself. I'm going to do it in 3, 2, 1. So now I don't think any of you are able to unmute yourself. If you can just type in the chat so that I know that that is working. But you should not be able to unmute yourself. Cool. So it looks like it's working. Yep, it's working. So there you go. So that's something that obviously you can activate yourself. But sometimes, especially in the Q&A section, a lot of people would want to find it easier to just unmute and just speak it out rather than typing, because typing is quite a lot to do at the same time. Especially a lot of people, when they join a lot of sessions, I've seen in the past, whenever people join our sessions, they're always on their mobile. And mobile, Zoom, and iPad is not, as the word says, it's not catered to do proper presentations. So if you were to type and talk at the thing, it might take some time. So I would always suggest, if you can unmute them, just unmute, and then you just have to quickly press the mute button essentially when they're pretty much done, because sometimes they forget to mute themselves. So that would be my sort of 2 cents on that. Cool. I'll just bring that back. So that's great. Good. Cool. Now I've just realized we've got about like 10 more minutes left. Is there anything in particular that we would like to sort of go through a bit more? I think I've covered most of the basics in terms of using Zoom. Are there any more questions that anybody like to ask?
So, Sean, we've got some people, 6 people on YouTube. I'm not sure if they've just joined or they've been through the whole session. So just to recap, so this session's all about how a yogi can use Zoom to present a public program.
Yep.
They're most welcome to present it in their own way. Yep. They could also use the tools that Sean is showing us to do Zoom sessions with their families, etc. But if people who are on this session want to go to the next step and are starting to feel confident with the platform, the Zoom platform, yep. Like we said earlier, we would suggest that if you are going to do a public program, is to get a couple of other yogis and run some sessions with them offline. Get them to participate, get them to ask questions and show videos and do mother's talks, have a collective meditation. Probably only needs to go for 10 minutes, but you should use all the different tools that Sean has taken us through. Unmuting, how to play a video, cued videos. You've downloaded the videos, you've got everything ready, because there's a lot going on, isn't there, Sean? When you're hosting, yep. The only thing you're not doing is not pedaling with your feet underneath.
No, exactly.
And you're trying to be balanced. You're trying to think of what's next you're going to present, and you've got to queue things up, make sure the technology is working for you. And that's a big challenge. And that certainly comes from lots of practice. It's not from reading books, as we know. So once you're ready, once you've done a few tests and you're confident that you want to present something, let us know. Send an email to info@sahajyoga.com.au. I'll put that in both the Zoom and the YouTube channel, and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, which centre you're in. We may have some people who are overseas, internationally. We're talking from Australia. We host sessions from all around the world now, and so if you are interested in presenting and would like to join our team, please drop us a line and we'll talk about the next steps.
Also, one more thing just to add on that as well. We regularly update these calendars every Sunday, courtesy of the Viber from the Queensland Collective. So every Sunday we have the calendar basically updated. So if you decide to want to, like, you're ready to go, all good to go, make sure you let us know before today, actually, because every Sunday is when we update the calendars. So just let us know in advance, so that way we can put your
Can you share the calendar with us again, please?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, great. Let me just bring that up. Okay, so calendar is share desktop too.
I can send you the link if that'll help.
Cool.
There you go. That's it.
Okay,
Good,
yeah,
yeah.
cool. So this gets updated every Sunday by the Queensland Collective. It's if you want to get yourself scheduled on here, let them know ASAP. So obviously, the time at which you want to do it, the day, a little bit about what is it that you want to try and do. If it's a beginner, intermediate, advanced, the write up. I believe Uncle Charles Vibe handles it, or do the people want to give their own thing?
So there are people who nominate what their sessions are going to be, and sometimes we nominate sessions for them, and that's done by Lynn from Canberra.
Yeah.
So Lynn generally collates the list, and Viber adds some others that are due to the Queensland, and then it's published this way. So we're very flexible. It doesn't matter if people have 2 sessions which are identical. It's just a tweaking of the words and make it sound a little bit different.
Yeah, I think like what Uncle Charles was saying is, like, with the hooks and things like that, we sort of get people into the sessions. But you can run like series. Like, for example, you can see over here, Uncle Yogi Mahajan from India, he's running a series. So for example, if you want to talk a little bit about certain things, you can. But I think first and foremost, just consult with Auntie Lynn and Uncle Charles about it, so that they know how it works in terms of the timeline and things like that. So it's important to do that. We like Uncle Charles said, we can definitely cater for it. It just has to work in terms of when you want to do it, and also making sure that we don't overload, because we can run multiple sessions at the same time, but we just got to be mindful of the time and also the scheduling, so to speak. So yeah.
So the way we publicize this, so we've got a lot of people who are putting a lot of work into presenting, researching, and preparing these sessions on all the different platforms. So once the calendar gets updated, on Monday, we send an email out. We have about 10,500 people on our email database. So we send an email to them to say, these are the topics. We usually just we pick a couple of interesting topics that we send, so that we can get them to come back to the site and choose sessions that suit them more, suit their time better. So that's sent through there. And also we publish it on our freemeditation.com.au site as a news item, which then also that gets published to all our social media platforms. So it'll appear in our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. What else is there, Sean? Whatever, data.
Yeah, Twitch, WeChat, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So it all gets published there. So it's circulated worldwide, and hopefully it'll draw. And basically, what we do is we send them the link to this site, so they come back to this landing page here.
Yeah.
So we have visitors, about 500 visitors visiting this website every day. And again, you've got people who have no idea what we're about, and they may find a topic there that suits them. And it's all a matter of being there available for them when they arrive. So, even though we're saying, we can see their session starting in 6 hours time, which is this evening, what we do cater for them. If you scroll down that screen, please, Sean.
Yep.
So people they want to do some meditation now, and the next session is not due for another 6 hours. So if we just go down a little bit further, there should be a video gallery link. So, this one here. So this is the next video that's queued in YouTube. Yeah. So that'll be playing there. And then there was a link that Sean clicked on. Yeah. And these are videos that have been recorded via the YouTube channel.
Yep.
So there's a lot of content there that's available for people. So some of the sessions are done live and some of them are pre-recorded.
For sure.
We should finish off again just on that resources. If you go to the resources for the webcasters.
Yep.
And show, that's it, yeah. If you go down to I think it's the last tab, please, Sean.
Yep.
In there, it's got the one with the videos that we showed you last night. Oh no, so maybe it's above it.
Okay. Is it the videos for public programs? Is that?
That's the one, yeah.
Cool. Yep.
So what we've got here, you want to talk through what we've got here?
Yeah. So.
And that link above it too. There's just one. There's a tiny link above there.
So if any of you are struggling to find like material or content that could work for you, and you search YouTube and there's nowhere, the team has definitely put together a list of very simple videos of Shimaji, for example, raising Kundalini, doing the Bandhan, a lot of Shimaji's talks, but just presented in such a way that it looks a little bit more easy. And also we got like Shimaji's interviews, some videos over here. Really great stuff. What we can do with this one, you can also download them. So if you just go to this thing over here, download page, just go straight into Vimeo. Vimeo is a very good platform that allows you to download your videos. So just waiting. Yep, cool. There you go. And then all you do is just basically click the one that you want. Just click that, and then you can click whichever quality you want. I would always say in terms of quality, to make sure that you have the maximized, streaming ability, between 540 and 720 is quite okay. In case you're worried about like size, because sometimes also depends on the streaming and things like that. But if you want to go all in, just download the whole entire thing, and that's a really huge file right there. It's almost like 1 gigabyte right there. You can download it. It looks great on your screen, but obviously it might not look great on the presenter screen. But but if you want a decent quality, usually around 720, 180 is quite alright as well in terms of the pixel quality. So really good tool over here. Like I said, just download them, pick and choose. I like to, before my program, spend like a good hour or so, or not hour, that's probably a little bit too much. Just download the ones that I need, depending on how your internet speed is on that day. Just download them, get them ready, and then queue them up into your player. You can load them up. Now, some people load them up on their web browser. Some people load them up on their own media player. Same thing, whichever is more comfortable to you. That's the question, and I think that's more of a personal choice rather than like a mandate, so to speak. Whatever is easiest for you works for me personally. When I do it, I like to put it on offline and just have it queued up on my QuickTime player. I have like a playlist, and then I just basically click that, and all I do is just press next, and then the next video plays essentially. Some people like to have it ready, loaded up on their web browser, so they just share their web browser, and then they just click the video that they want, and then just go next. That is a little bit more effort for me, personally speaking, because I'm a bit lazy when it comes to tech stuff. I just want to press a button and then it sort of just goes through. Again, it's whatever your workflow is. It's very personal, and that's pretty much that one there. So that's that part.
Just go back to the resources page. Show the link to the music, which is always something nice that people play.
Yeah. So we got the music page that we have over here. So again, collated bunch of music over here, which is all some of it from Australian yogis, and also some that have been around as well. So we got, like, for example, here you can play.
And if you want to download the track to your computer, it's just a matter of right-clicking on the title, and then it'll just it'll save to your desktop.
Save link asset, things like that.
And then the other, while you're in that area, if we go back to the main page again.
Yep.
There's the publications. Presentations, I think. Which one is presenters? That's the one. Yeah. So there's a PowerPoint presentation there which has a chakra chart in it.
Yep.
You can download that.
Yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll cover this in the next week's presentation about using PowerPoint for the presentation, because I think I know a lot of people here. I know Uncle Sean uses it for his one as well. I'll talk a little bit about using that and how it's a very good, useful tool to have as well. And it can also be a one-stop shop for putting all your content, so your audio and your video as well. But it has to be synced up right. But I can definitely talk a little bit more about that, and that will be really easy to go through. Cool. We'll just see if there's any more last minute questions, and then we'll sort of address it from there. Great. Okay, so Uncle Andrew asked about breakout rooms and how to use this for a brand new person and a more advanced program. If it's okay with you, Uncle Andrew, I will leave this for next week, because there is a lot, like it's a bit technical, but I think just for now, let's just focus on just getting the Zoom session up and running. You can use breakout rooms to your advantage, but I think there's a whole other topic about that as to how to work that and how to bring them back and how to allocate them accordingly. For example, if you have a couple of yogis who are in your session and you want to make it into smaller groups, you can do that, but there is a lot of functionality in that. I think there's a lot to digress from today, don't you think, Uncle Charles, with all the downloading and just making this up and running? So
there's a lot going. I think the next step is for people who are interested. I know Andrew's ready to go. He's on his P plates at the moment. He's ready to go.
His full license.
We need to get him to run a few sessions with some yogis. Andrew, are you there still, mate? You can unmute if you like. Or are you ready to go to a full license?
No. I would like to start practicing. I think.
Yeah. And there's plenty of us around. Just grab a couple of people and run a couple of sessions, and you'll be ready to go. We'll give you a full license. You'll be certified.
On Monday, I think I'm helping Sean as a co-host. Is it many of the functions the same as a co-host?
Yeah, exactly. So exactly what I went through, the same thing.
Yeah, so I could practice my PowerPoint or video, etc., etc.
Sean, are you prepared to hand over the steering wheel to Andrew?
Definitely.
All right. And I can see Sean's using a laptop, and he's got the camera below. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm learning.
The other thing about lighting, Andrew, I noticed, for example, you've got a window behind you.
Yeah, I just changed it.
Yeah. So you know the trick about all that, don't you? Not to have bright lights behind you, because the cameras just can't handle it. They just make everything dark. Yeah,
so just on that note about lighting as well, the inbuilt camera laptop, they don't have the best of the best lighting. So if you were to have natural lighting behind you, great. What I would suggest is either having something that really lights up the room on the other side, because it's just a matter of reflection, right? So it's just a matter of making sure that the way you set up the light is not directly in your face. So for example, I've got these two lights over here. I've got one that's just directly like highlighting the ceiling. I put them just towards the ceiling so that it looks like a nice little wash on my face. We don't want to light directly to your face. We just want it so that it reflects and looks nicely onto the camera. What I would suggest is, for those of you who have LED lights, that doesn't mean that you need to be directly underneath the light to get the maximize out of it, but just be in a midpoint stuff, because you want to get also like a normal natural touch up of your face, but we don't want to be like too white, if that makes sense. So
watch those videos on the resources. There are people who specialize in this area. And they've put together some really simple techniques, and they only go for about 10 minutes, and they'll show us show you how to put on your lipstick, that sort of stuff. So you'll be good. good to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul was there. He just left. Paul Nicolai was there. We've just lost him. Just
Yeah.
going to say hello.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sean, I think we're at the end.
Yep.
It's just past 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for taking the time and preparing for this. It's the first one we've done, and maybe we'll do these again for hosts another time.
Yep.
But next week, same time at 11 o'clock, we've got the being a presenter.
Yep.
That is for people, or is that a co-host and presenter the same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
Or same thing,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And then people, so that'll be from 11 till 12.
Yep.
And then from 12 to 1 next week, people who want to be a technical support, they don't want to use the microphone, they don't want to use a camera.
Exactly.
And they're quite happy to press all the buttons and support yogis who want to present. So, for example, Andrew, if you want to, you maybe find someone who helps you be your technical support, and then you'll be up and running much quicker. And then you can just focus on the content, which videos to play, which of Srimataji's talks you'd like to play. So shall we finish off with a short meditation and just again thank Mother for all the blessings and the time that we have spent together. It was very enjoyable. So thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for Sean for running this session.
Thank you. Thank you, Srimataji.
So raise our Kundalini. And put ourselves into Bandha. Thank you, Mother, for all your blessings. Thank you for everything that you do for us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet with our brothers and sisters today and to share all these beautiful tools that you've given us to be able to share your message of love and compassion with so many people around the world. Jai Srimataji.
Jai Srimataji.
So we'll end the session there. Thank you, Sean.
No worries.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone who's on YouTube. We'll hopefully see you next week.